이름 멜빈입니다. 반갑습니다. My name is Melvin. I'm based in Seoul today. Sure.
Recording in progress.
All right, so this session is recorded. We're going to spend 1 hour to learn about how to build a website, especially in foreign language, in 5 hours. So this is a preview course, a preview seminar, but I'm gonna share as much information as possible with you guys. It will be conducted in English. I will speak very basic English. I will explain very simply without jargons and so forth. Okay, so thank you so much for listening in, VOI81D and Mickey. Okay, so now I'm gonna start and go ahead and start this event or online event. So here's a preview. And even though it's a preview, you're gonna get to learn a lot of stuff. Now, the reason why I'm not doing an online video and instead of doing online sessions, because I would like you guys to ask questions. So if you have any questions to ask, go ahead, post your questions on the chat or raise your hands. So I want this to be as interactive as possible. So I want people to interact, basically. If you have an online video, you cannot interact. Like YouTube video, no interaction. Here, it's all about interaction. So take as much information from me as possible. Take as much benefit from me as possible. So I'm basically a living dictionary to help you guys to do all these things. All right, so not sure why this is not appearing here. So I'm just gonna, first question I'm gonna ask is, why should you be building a website in foreign language today? Now, this reason why I'm creating this course, because of AI, essentially. Now, if you know that how to translate languages using Papago or Google Translate, it's never accurate. The grammatical error, there's spelling mistakes, etc., etc. So it's so hard to create a professional website without hiring a translator. So if you're not good in Vietnamese, if you're not good in English, how are you going to do that? You have to hire a translator. Today, you just hire ChatGPT. So you can essentially create a website in a foreign language, whether it's Indonesian, Chinese, Spanish, French, English, of course, from Korean to English, Korean to French, Korean to Vietnamese, Korean to Indonesian, etc., etc., etc. So what you do is just use basically ChatGPT to translate your content from Korean. Okay, I'm going to use English to translate. I'm going to ask ChatGPT to translate to Korean, and you guys will know whether its translation is correct or not. Okay, so I'm going to paste this. Ask ChatGPT, and it's going to translate out in perfect Korean. So if I want to create a website to sell my products to Korean, I just use ChatGPT, Gemini, DeepSeek, whatever AI chat or LLM to call it, to generate content for my website. So that is why I'm creating this course, to help you guys to reach out to overseas market, whatever you're trying to do, whether it's selling products, selling music, blog, corporate websites, and you can be a website designer. You can sell your service on Command or on those freelancing website in Korea, and you can actually charge people to create websites for their foreign markets, for their corporate websites. For example, companies who selling cosmetics overseas, companies selling cars, entertainment, K-pop, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so that's why we're gonna use AI to basically create your website on WordPress. Now, WordPress is gonna be the content management system that we're going to use. I will elaborate more. So now we know how to create or how we can generate content for our website in foreign language. So how do we start building a website? So today, I'm going to promise you guys a few things. First, no programming is required. You will not have to touch a single line of code. If you can, great. If you can't, forget it. It's okay. Not a big problem, not a problem at all. Whatever I'm teaching you to do, I will not ask you to pay, or you do not have to pay any fee eventually. You know, there are a lot of free content, free services, free stuff online. And eventually you realize that at the end, It's not that, it's not so free. So that's the catch. That's the trick behind it. So whatever I'm teaching you, there will be no tricks. If there is a trick, I'll inform you there's a trick. This service provider has a trick, you have to watch out for it. That service provider doesn't have a trick, you can go ahead and use it. Of course, I'll recommend you guys what to use. Second, I'm going to teach you how to do it yourself. So I'm not going to tell you to hire someone, a programmer, a website designer to build your website for you, or pay expensive tools. Most of the things you're going to learn today or in my 5-hour website building course is going to be free. And what my purpose is to train you guys, to teach you guys how to do it by yourself. So I'm going to, if you don't mind, I'm just going to turn off my video just to ensure that there's no technical problems. So that's one of my promises. Most of the cool tools or software are free or open source. If you have to pay any fee, it's going to be the cheapest, most value for money stuff that you're going to use, which I've been using. And whatever I know, I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to keep it, okay, you want to know this, you have to pay for it, etc., and so forth. So I'll tell you as much as knowledge as possible, okay? Now, there are 3 things you need to build a website. Obviously, you need a domain name. I'm going to tell you what kind of domain names you should use, where you should buy them, most affordable places, sellers which you can trust, who you cannot trust, what kind of .com, what kind of name, how to find the names, and so forth. 2, you need a web hosting service because you need to host your website's files or your web pages on a server, web hosting server, where it will deliver your web page content to all the users around the world. And thirdly, we're going to use a website builder, which means you don't have to do programming. You use this website builder, which is a free software, open source software, and it's called CMS, Content Management System. And there are just too many of them in the market. I'll tell you which one to use and which one not to use and why. Okay, so just 3 things to remember. You need a domain name, you need a web hosting service, and you need a website builder. So we're going to cover all these 3 today. Okay, domain name. Now, before that, I'm going to tell you guys okay, excuse me. Okay, the domain name, essentially, you know what are domain names. It's .com, for your website, .net, .co, .co.kr. Now, the best domain name that you want to use is, of course, .com. Question is why? First, it's cheap. You can buy so many types of domain names. Each of them costs differently. I'm going to show you the prices. Okay, Namecheap. Where is that? Namecheap. Okay, I'm going to search Namecheap price list. Okay, Namecheap is a domain registrar. We can buy, I do buy domain names from them because they're not the cheapest, but they're very affordable. That's why they call them Namecheap. And you can see the price list here. I'm going to just copy this and paste it on the chat here so you guys can see it. Okay. Confirm your speaking language. I have to say I'm speaking in English. Excuse me. Okay. Now, if you look at the price list here, the cheapest is always .com. The R is pretty cheap as well, but the rest can be pretty expensive. For example, .ai. If you're doing something on AI, of course, obviously they know now AI is a trend, so it's really expensive. You have .cc, .io, so many type of dots. So the cheapest is always .com, and it's most common. So it's always people when they want to look for your domain name, they always would assume that it's .com. So just enter mypetshop.com, for instance. So .com is one that I would recommend you to use if you're targeting a global company, a global market. If you're targeting specific country, then it's good to have the specific country's domain name, TLD. For example, Singapore will be .sg, Malaysia will be .my, France will be .fr, You can actually purchase them, but you have to have somebody. Usually, you have to have somebody that is living in those countries that own ID, the national ID, in order to register for you. That's usually the case. But if you don't have anyone there in that country, use .com. If you use .com or for example, .co.id, which is the Indonesian TLD, if you want to create a website from Korean to Indonesian, selling to Indonesian, when Indonesian people would use google.co.id. And when you have a .co.id, when people search for, let's say you're selling pet products, chances are you're going to rank high because your domain name is .co.id. And Google will know that your content or your products are targeting Indonesians, which is why sometimes it's beneficial to use .co.id or .co. whatever company or country that you're targeting, if you're targeting a specific country. But .com still works. I'm just saying that it's easier to get on top of the search results ranking if you have a specific country's TLD. TLD means the top level domain, which is the .co.id, this part here, top level domain, okay? French .fr, I believe. Canada is .ca, yeah, okay? So now we're not gonna go into that, we're just gonna cover .com. Why .com? Because it's cheap, again, it's universal, or you can go for .co or .net. .com means company. .com actually also means company, but the shorter version is .co or .net or .io or .ai, depending on what kind of business that you're running. So I have a startup which is called Formula RC. So I use .cc. It's more expensive than .com, but it just sounds good because Formula RC.cc rhymes. So I chose to have .cc. You can do that as well. If you think you're gonna have a cool domain name, you want to be like tv.live, for example. If you're doing some kind of live TV kind of website, then tv.live obviously is a very good, cool. It's a catchy name, right? So that's one of the ways that you can try to be different or try to promote yourself. Now, these are all the domain names you can use. Try not to use the dash in your domain name, because people always don't type in enter the dash. So try to just have one full word, okay? Now, if you want to buy free domain name, you can go to freenom.com. You don't have to buy, it's free. So, but you only get certain domain name, not .com. So if you look at this list here, free domain names all as .tk, .ml, .ga, .cf, .gq. And these are free. And you can actually register them for free. I've done it before. You go to freenom.com. Okay. Now, you cannot say, okay, I'm going to buy all of them. I'm going to buy dozens of them. No, there's a limit to how many free domain names you can own. So they know about that. You can try to create different accounts and try to buy. They know that too. So somehow they track your IP address or track your computer. They know that you're trying to trick them basically. So you can have limited free domain names, which has this ending, this extension, or TLD, they call it, top level domains. Okay, it can be mypetshop.gq. Of course, it all depends whether these domain names have been taken or not. So the other ways is, of course, you pay for it. Now, to buy, you can always go to Namecheap, which I'm using right now. They are not expensive. They are one of the cheapest in the world. So you have to look at the way when you want to register it for the first time and renew. Register and renew always have different prices. Now, how do you find? You go to instant domain search. How do you look for domain? How do you search for domain names? Because you have to do a lot of brainstorming. So you just enter it here and it's going to show you whether domain name is available or not. So for example, I can enter my petshop.com. So my petshow.com is available because it's green color. My petshop.com is red, meaning it's been taken. So you just type my pet shop or my pet shops taken two, my pet shop 24/7. There, it's available. So it's a very quick and easy way to find domain names to buy. Okay. Again, instantdomainsearch.com. This is where you would look for domain names easily. And once you found it, don't buy it here. Again, I repeat, don't buy here, because if you buy here, if I click on continue, say I found this domain name I want to buy, I click on continue, it will bring me to domain.com, it will bring me to GoDaddy.com, so forth and so forth. And they're not the cheapest in the world. Generally, they're expensive. So yeah, usually see it's $11.99. Okay, first year sometimes it's always cheaper for the first year, and the second year is always expensive. This is the trick. You see that what companies like GoDaddy.com they're implementing this marketing strategy. The first time, if you go to GoDaddy.com, if you buy a domain name, the first year is always super cheap. Okay. Excuse me. And subsequently, when you want to renew, it's going to be bloody expensive. Okay, so I'm just going to change it to, excuse me. So I can just type whatever I want here. Just try.com. So it's going to be like what? 90 cents, 19 cents for the first year, if you buy it for 3 years. So it's pretty cheap. But when you renew it the next year, they're going to charge you expensively. But if you look at namecheap.com, registration part is this, renewal is slightly more expensive. So it's still fair. For first year and second year and third year and so forth, prices are not that different. Now, another one that I use is called websitespot.com. If you think I'm talking too fast, please let me know. Which is still very affordable. See, .com, $8.99. Renewal, $12.99. It's actually cheaper than Namecheap.com. So I do use this. I do use this website named websitespot.com and Namecheap.com. Okay, my friends are using Namecheap as well. So I believe, trust me, when you use Namecheap, okay, another good thing about Namecheap is that it offers you privacy. So if you have a domain name, every time you have a domain name, you have to tell the world who owns domain name, which is you, obviously. So you need to enter your email address, your name, and your address, your physical address, your home address, essentially. So if I enter, for example, card.cc, see, so people can just search who owns this domain name. But with Namecheap, they offer you privacy for free. So when you buy your domain name with Namecheap, it gives you an automated privacy protection for free, which is why I buy from Namecheap. Because for other websites, other providers, you have to pay additional for this service, for this privacy service. So you see here, Cryptcard is redacted for privacy. So you cannot know who owns it and what's the city, the address, the phone, email, whatever. Because sometimes what happens is you have an email address shown here, people will just spam you with a lot of marketing messages, spams. So you don't want people to know your email address shown here. Okay, you don't want people to see your email address essentially. Okay, so this is provided for free by Cryptcard. Sorry, not Cryptcard, it's by Namecheap. Okay, so this is one of the reasons why I would recommend you to use Namecheap if you want to have some kind of privacy with your domain name. That's one. Okay, so Namecheap or websitespot.com, but they don't offer that privacy protection service. You have to pay for it. So that's why most of the times I actually use Namecheap.com to buy domain names. And I will go to instantdomainsearch.com to search for the domain names that are available for me to register. Okay, so search using instantdomainsearch.com, buy it from Namecheap.com. Okay, so that's basically about what basically what's about how to buy domains. Okay. And okay, this one has been covered by me. Okay, it's been covered. So the second thing is you want to own a web hosting account, web hosting provider, web hosting server provider. And there are just so many in the market right now. These are my recommendations. Don't always go for the cheapest, go for the most value for money. A lot of times, if you experience some providers who offer you the cheapest price, again, first year is cheap, second year is gonna charge you. Watch out for that trick. Always look at the renewal fee. Again, renewal fee. First year fee and second and third year fees are always different. Sometimes really cheap for the first year. They just want to lock you in. And the second year, you're gonna pay your butt off. Okay. So look for the don't look for the cheapest, look for the best value. And of course, first year price always lower than second year. Sometimes first year price is so much lower than the second year and subsequent years. And if you generally go for US-based hosting companies, because US-based hosting companies offers the best value in terms of price and performance and service, technical support. If you go for other countries, for example, even Korean web hosting companies, they are relatively more expensive. I've checked a lot of countries, generally US-based hosting companies are the cheapest and most affordable, and they provide the best performance and technical support. Okay. And of course, you want those who have good technical support because technical support happens. I mean, it's very important even for people like me who knows programming, who knows server stuff, because sometimes there's configuration issue, etc., whatever, your website get hacked, you need them to help you. So you want to have a customer support that is 24/7, 24 hours, because you're in a different time zone. Even though they're based in the US, they usually have 24 hours customer support, which can support you in the midnight hours in the US because you're in Korea. Okay, so but however, if you're targeting a local company, meaning that you speed is very important to you. For example, you're doing some kind of streaming service targeting Indonesians, for example. So you may want to use an Indonesian hosting company because their servers are located in Indonesia or in France or in Canada or in US. Of course, I mean, we're talking about US here, Canada, because their servers are in that country. The local people who access your website gonna experience very short delays, which means your website's gonna be loading very fast. Okay, so find a local hosting provider if you want to have faster speed. But I don't think you guys are doing any kind of speed critical websites or web platforms. So generally, US-based hosting companies are good enough. Sometimes they have different servers across the world, which will make it fast as well. So there's not a big concern. The other part is that you want to get one with cPanel. So what's cPanel? Now, I'm going to show you what is cPanel. This is cPanel. Okay, cPanel, this is cPanel. cPanel is the interface or the login panel that you see when you log into your web hosting account. You do all your web hosting management here. For example, you want to create email accounts. How you create it? Use cPanel. You go here, you enter your email account. I want to create a new email account. I enter here, domain name, for example, find a field, etc., etc. I create an email account for my domain name, for my website. You want to check for spamming. You want to back up your server. You want to check your files. You want to create databases. You want to have a cache, basically a domain caching system to speed up your website caching system to speed up your website. And you want to install WordPress, which is the content management system, which is a website builder that we're going to learn directly into your web hosting account. So you don't have to transfer files between your computer to the server. A lot of tutorials you find online in Korea or in overseas, they are teaching you how to build your website using WordPress on your computer, on your PC, which eventually you have to transfer it up to your server. it'll take some time because the file is big. You may not know how to transfer the files, so forth and so forth. But with cPanel, you can just install it immediately online. So if I click on WordPress on cPanel, I just click on install now, and I just select the domain name that I want to install it to, the version of WordPress, whatever, enter the site name, enter the administration email, login credentials here. And when you hit and the plugins that you want to install, when you hit when you hit install, immediately WordPress website gets installed on your server. And then you log into your WordPress and start building your website. Within hours, you're gonna get, or even within minutes, you can get a website built without all the hassle transferring files here and there. Which is why I always recommend you to have a web hosting account with cPanel. There are other panels, administrative panels that you can use, or the web hosting companies are offering, but they are not as good as cPanel. I would recommend try to get one with cPanel. If you think it's not important, it's okay. You can always use other types that is available. Okay, that is why this is what cPanel is about. Now, let's talk about where should you host, or who should you host your websites with. If you just Google top hosting providers, there are lists of them. The problem is you're gonna say, which one should I pick? Oh my God, there's just so many of them. There are thousands of them. Yes, there are a lot. Okay, that's why I'm here. I will tell you who you should pick, who you should not pick. Now let's go back here. Here are some of my recommendations. Now I've been there, done that. I've used these people. I have not used all of them, obviously, but I'll tell you who I have used, who I would recommend you to use, who I will not recommend you to use. Currently, I'm using InMotion Hosting. I use them for many years already because they're really good. Servers are good, fast, very good support, 24 hours support. Price, okay, they're not the cheapest. They're not the most expensive either. But for the service that they're providing me and for the price I'm paying, yeah, I'm sticking with them. Technically, the support people are very good. Sometimes the support people are not so technically sound, so it's hard to get things done. They're very fast. Support's very fast, so very good as well. Technically, they're very good, so they can fix your problems very fast. InMotion Hosting. Okay, if you just search for them, you can just find them. It's they've been around they're based in the US and they've been around for many years. The other one is A2 Hosting. They're not expensive. They're actually quite affordable, cheaper than InMotion and DreamHost, I believe. I've used them before. They're not that bad. I'm not saying that's bad. I've used them for about, I think, a couple of months. They have a team based in their technical support team is based in India, I believe. So sometimes the technical support people are not so technically sound. I mean, they're not so good technically. So you might have some problems with that, but sometimes you meet with those people who are more technically inclined, so you will not have a problem. So A2 hosting can be one of the considerations you can choose. DreamHost also not the cheapest. They're good, but they don't have cPanel. So DreamHost is also based in the US. All these are based in the US, by the way. You can consider DreamHost as well. HoboHost is the cheapest. It's $1 per month, roughly slightly more than $1 per month. Run by just like one guy, I think, based in the US somewhere. I've used them before. If you really want dirt cheap hosting, go for HoboHost. They have cPanel. That's a good thing about HoboHost. They have cPanel, and you want to consider them if you really want to save costs. You get about 5 GB of data, I believe. Do not use HostGator or GoDaddy. My friends have used them. I've used them. They're terrible. The reason why they're terrible is because they do very heavy marketing and they have a lot of clients and they just cannot cope with the number of clients they have. So response time, technical support response time is really slow. They're not essentially a hosting company anyway. They're more of the domain name company, especially GoDaddy, but they do offer web hosting services as well. So they diversify too much and they don't have focus in helping you in delivering web hosting services. Okay, so don't use HostGator, don't use GoDaddy. You can use like InMotion, of course. Let me show you InMotion, the prices, InMotion hosting. And then you have DreamHost. Bluehost is good. I heard I've not used Bluehost. They're not expensive. They're just Bluehost, and then there's HoboHost. Yep, HoboHost. Let's look at HoboHost, right? The prices are very cheap. It's like $1.30 per month. You get 5 gigabytes of SSD. That's a solid state disk, which means that the data is fast. Basically, it makes your website a lot faster. So you can host up to 10 websites. It's pretty cool. So you have 10 domain names. Each domain name serves independent website, independent files, meaning 10 WordPress websites in one account for 5 gigabytes. But remember, 5 gigabytes is not a lot. So one single website will probably take, maybe depend on the website, right? 500 megabytes. If you have more content, of course, 1 gigabytes. It's very easy to hit more than 1 gigabytes for a website. Once you add more content, more photos, pictures, and so forth. Okay, 10 email addresses, that's not a lot. So as long as you don't have a lot of email addresses, you're fine. 1 gigabyte of RAM, which means that this 1 gigabyte of RAM is shared with all your websites. Okay, not one website, 1 gigabyte of RAM. The more RAM you have, the better, the faster your website will perform, basically. Okay, and of course, they have other prices as well. You have Bluehost, you can look at Bluehost as well, starting from $2.95 a month. Generally, the first year, you see renewal price, check this out, okay? Basic price, $2.95 per month for first year. Second year is $11.99 a month. It's a huge, huge difference. But there's no catch, you see, because they're being transparent with you. They'll tell you how much is the renewal. So better check. Okay, now let's look at InMotion hosting, which is the one I'm using. I'm using the VPS hosting actually, not this one. It's $275, renew at $10.99 a month. Okay, 2 websites only. So they're not the cheapest, but you have 100 gigabytes of space and with unlimited bandwidth and 10 addresses, email addresses, and so forth. So technically, they're very sound. I like them a lot. And one one important requirement that you need to be aware of is that you need to have a SSL certificate. This is an SSL certificate. It basically ensures that your website connection is secured, meaning that when someone is transferring data from your website to their computer, to their web browser, all the data is encrypted. It is a common requirement today. You cannot avoid this. So you need to have an SSL certificate. Now, most hosting companies provide free SSL certificates via this service provider called Auto SSL. And it's all embedded or included inside most of the web hosting providers. You can buy your own SSL certificate if you want. It costs about, I think, about $8 a year, but you don't have to if you don't want to. So make sure that your hosting company provides SSL certificate, which usually they do. And you just have to install it with your web hosting service or your web hosting account. Okay, the other one that you want to consider, A2 hosting. Okay, A2 hosting is pretty affordable as well. Okay, web hosting, $2.99. Oh, they're not so cheap anymore. Oh, okay, it's $2.99 a month, was $12.99. So you just have to make sure that the renewal fee is not that expensive. I have not used A2 hosting for quite some time now, so you can consider them. Okay. All right, now what else? Okay, now last one. We still have some time. Any questions so far? Am I going too fast? So just to summarize a little bit until of all things I've mentioned, when you pay for a web hosting service or domain name service, the first year is always cheaper than the second year, the third year. You might think that, hey, first year is, I mean, it's only what, $8.99, right? Or $12.99 a year, right? Yeah. But when you're not making money from your website, say you're trying to do it for a year and you spend so much time marketing your website, putting content on your website, and then next year the price jumps up. You start to think, I want to kill my website. But you spend so much effort on your website already. It's not that easy to kill it. So you will try to want to renew it. But when you renew it, you're thinking, I'm paying this amount of money for the past 3-4 years. I'm not making much money from it. Is it worth renewing it? Then this when the renewal part kicks in. Okay, that you'll be more price conscious about the renewal fee, even including your web hosting account. Okay, your renewal fee, how much you have to renew. You have to pay for your web hosting renewal. You have to pay for your domain name renewal. So this all these costs will bear into your mind after the first year. Generally, we don't think about it the first year. After that, when you need to renew, then you start to feel the pinch of all this. Okay, so beware of this, and they know this. Which is why all these marketing companies or companies know this is a strategy that they offer you the very low price for the first year. Second year, they're gonna charge you for it because you're just stuck to. Not to say you're stuck, you can still transfer your files and move to another hosting company. It's just that it's a lot of hassle. Most people don't do that. They just like to stick to one. So it's good to start with a good one. Okay, it's good to start with a good value for money provider, which is what I'm recommending you guys here. Okay, A2, DreamHost, etc. All these are good providers. There are a few more like Midface and etc. But this is it's just so many of them. And generally, they are not that different. Okay. Now let's look at the last part, which is the most important part, which is the web hosting building aspect. Okay, so what is a content management system? This is a content management system. It enables you to build websites without coding, without HTML, without typing coding codes or HTML. They're doing it for you. It's not that you need programming codes, they do, but it's just that you don't have to type them. This is how it looks like. This is the dashboard of WordPress. Now, there are dozens and dozens of content management systems, essentially website builders, free website builders in the world. Now, you don't have to look at the rest because WordPress is the king. Let me just show you the statistic here. Okay, so market trend of content management systems. Okay, these are all the content management systems in the market. WordPress dominates. In February last year, 62%, 62.8% of the websites in the world are using, all of content management systems in the world are using WordPress, followed by Shopify, Wix, Joomla, Drupal, etc. I've used Joomla, I've used Drupal, I've used Wix, I've used all this. Joomla is free, Drupal is free, Wix is not. Well, it's free, but you have to pay. The domain name is not yours. It's like mypetshop.wix.com, and then there's an ad there or whatever. Shopify obviously is not free. It's only for e-commerce mainly. But Joomla is open source. Drupal is open source. WordPress is open source. PrestaShop is open source as well. I've used that before, but they're just not so easy to use. Drupal and Joomla. They're not convenient, and they don't have a lot of plugins and themes. I'll explain to you what are plugins and themes. WordPress is the dominant, the biggest, basically the best in the world. Now, if you search WordPress market share, 63% of all websites are powered by WordPress. Sorry, 43%. That's huge. And WordPress is growing in popularity year over year. And on average, 661 new WordPress websites are created each day. If you talk to a programmer, you say, I build my website using WordPress, they might laugh at you. Say, WordPress is such an old technology, old school, etc. Which is true. But the older it is, the more powerful or the more robust it is because it doesn't have a lot of bugs or vulnerabilities that you always find in new platforms like Node.js and so forth. So WordPress is still the dominant platform or the dominant content management system, CMS in short, to build websites around the world. And when you know that the US government, whitehouse.gov, is using WordPress, you know you can trust WordPress. Why? Because everyone would want to attack a website by US government. Hackers, everybody would want to go and hack a WordPress by the US government. And yet US government is using WordPress to build their websites. Wouldn't they be afraid of being hacked? Well, of course. Every single day, every single second, I think someone's trying to hack whitehouse.gov, especially when Donald Trump is the president, right? But WordPress, of course, the catch is it's tend to be common target for hacking and malware and trojans because it is the most common website building platform in the world. That's why a lot of hackers like to attack it. Malware, trojans, and so forth. But there are a lot of ways to protect yourself. I was hacked. My websites were hacked like twice, and wasn't a serious hack. They basically just changed the files on my website, and they just put on their advertisement on it, and just to try to make money from that from the hack, basically. CNN is using WordPress. So when you get hacked, there are a lot of solutions to fix your website, to clean your website. And some solutions are free, some are not. I will show you in my full course, the 5-hour website building course. So you don't have to worry about that. TechCrunch, I think you guys will know TechCrunch, CNN are using WordPress. So you don't have to worry about WordPress. And WordPress is something that anyone would recommend you to build your website with. Okay, you can try other. Okay, you can. Oh, by the way, there are so many plugins and themes. You can even build an e-commerce website. Now, let me show you. If you go to WordPress.org, you can just look at all the. You can just look at all the available extension and themes for it. Now, what are plugins? When you have a website, you want to extend the functions. You want to have an e-commerce capability. You want to have an email newsletter capability. You want to pay people to pay for subscription. You want people to pay for purchases. You want to have a social network. You want to have social login. You want to have image optimizer. You want to have so many type of stuff. And WordPress has what? 5,000 other plugins for you to use. Oh, sorry, 59,000 free plugins available. 59,000. Can you believe it? So the only problem you're going to have with WordPress is that there's just so many of it. You're spoiled with choices. You don't know what to pick. Let's look at let's search for plugins that uses ChatGPT. Say that a lot of plugins that use ChatGPT to help you to enhance your website. Content writer, AI product importer, okay, ChatGPT, article generator, all kinds of stuff are available, and they are mostly free. Basically, they are free. Most plugins are free, but of course, there's a free version. There's a pro version. Pro version, you probably have to pay a yearly fee, but most of the times, the free versions are good enough to do a lot of stuff on WordPress. How about design? If you want to design your WordPress website. So let's say, okay, these are all the free templates you can find on WordPress, blocks, and there are thousands of design templates you can use. Let me search for something. Let's say I search for pets. There, pets templates, all ready for you. All are free. Wow. Isn't that great? Now let's look at one of them. Let's look at this one, dog breeder. Dog breeder. And then you can download it for free, you see, and you can preview it. You can see how it looks like. Wow. Sometimes the preview doesn't work that well here. You can just always go to the creator's website, team homepage, and they will show you a live demo. See, so I click on this team homepage here. It brings me to the creator's website, and I click on live demo, so I can see how this template would look like. Wow, not bad, for free, huh? Yeah. And they come with a lot of this content, which are all called demo content. So it helps you to import or dump in all this content, images, and text into your website. So what you do is once you imported this or install this theme and imported all these images and everything, you basically just change all the text. You can even change the images. You want to change it to German Shepherd dog, Rottweiler, etc., Chihuahua. You can change it to my pet shop, best pet shop in the world. We're providing pet services, etc., globally. You can change this, you can change that. So you already have the skeleton, the framework. And all you have to do is change the icons and pictures and text. And you can use ChatGPT, translating from Chinese to Korean, Korean to Chinese, to Vietnamese, etc., to enter all this content. You see, so this is a secret. It is so powerful these days. You should do that if you have a plan to do a build website for foreign markets to export your business. Now is the time. Now is the time to do it. Okay, and there are just so many other teams. Now let me search for you. Let's say you are an aspiring musician and you want to look for a music related team. Wow, look at this. All are free. Wow. Now, okay. Let's say you have a band. You go for a uh, band team demo. Let's check out the demo. Okay, check out now. This one's a bit hard to find. Okay, let's just go in back. Try this one. This one. Okay, I'm gonna show you the demo of this site. Okay, I click on view demo. There. Cool. And you have a lot of just too many of them. You don't know what to pick. I don't know what to pick sometimes. Most of the times, I have to look around and pick one by one, which takes a lot of time. Sports. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Cars. Okay. So there are just so many, excuse me, types of teams that you can use and all for free. Now, here's the catch. If you look at a team, usually they have two versions. One is free, one is pro. Pro means you have to pay. Now, it's okay because most of the times the free versions are good enough to for no simple stuff. Not that simple, but at least you get a nice looking, professional looking website. And they have the pro version, obviously, at the end. But I hardly upgrade to pro version. I always use the free version. It's just so many free out there. If one is not good enough, you can always switch it to another. So it's always so free teams are always good enough for you to use. And this is basically like a e-commerce website, which is there's a e-commerce plugin for WordPress called WooCommerce, where you can have a full-fledged like Shopify like WordPress website. It's good or even better than Shopify because there's just so many plugins to extend your e-commerce website. One hour is not enough to explain to you guys. To be honest, there's just so many things you can do with this free open source software here. So so I will also teach you guys how to build, how to install, what teams to install, what teams to use, and how to install them, how to edit them, how to change them, how to color them, change the color, how to upload a logo, and so forth and so forth. This is what this is why I'm teaching you guys now. Teaching you guys this now. WordPress is the best platform right now. Just too many ways to do too many things. Okay, and now with AI, this is the last thing I want to mention. Now, I just created a WordPress website using AI in what 2 minutes, 5 minutes, and I just have to go back to that, find that part that I created. So I'm gonna teach you another way, even simpler way to build a website, WordPress website, and for free. Again, I repeat, it's for free. Now, this is a website I just created today, and I just use AI to create it. That's it. Seriously. I just tell the AI what I want to do. I said, I want to create a website about dog walking, a service to help people to walk their dogs. And it generated this page, this website for me for free. So you can even do that with AI. It's even simpler. First, you don't have to do programming. Now you don't even have to build websites. You don't even have to type or drag and drop. You just tell the AI what to do. Now, obviously, AI is still in its infancy, it's still new. It may not be able to create really fancy, complicated websites, but at least you can create a landing page of main page like this, where the rest you can add in later. So the thing is good about this is that it creates a WordPress website for you, which you can edit eventually. See, so if there are things that you don't like about it, click on edit page, and you can just go and edit it here. You change the text there, and then you save it. So you're not locked into that AI platform that you must always use the AI or pay the AI service. You can do it by yourself. This is the backend, the website administration panel that you can use to create your website. This is generated by the AI. You can add in plugins and so forth. And if you join my 5-hour website building course, you can learn how to do this. So I can search for different plugins in the market that I can install, all available here. I can edit them. So I'm going to offer a huge discount for you guys. Now the price for my website or website building course is one ship one. But if you listen today, if you join my course, my class today, you only have to pay Gutman one. That's 90,000 won. So this is how it is. This is how you build it. You change, click and change. I will teach you step by step how to do all these things. Change the menu and so forth. Okay, so that is how simple it is today to create websites. Now this is my course. The price that I'm is going for is this ship one. But for those who have joined today's class, you only have to pay Kuma. Then I'm gonna offer you a domain name, a web hosting account, and I will help you to teach you how to build your website from zero to hero, which means at the end of the course, you must have a website running. You will have a website running. It's guaranteed. If you don't have one, I'm going to refund you the money. Simple as that. Okay, so these are some of the websites that you can build, which I've built, which are still live, and you can get something like this or even better. So I'm going to teach you step by step how to build your websites. And whatever problems you may have, I'm going to help you to fix it immediately. Something like this. You can go to a booking page. You can do lots of stuff. You can have a database of 3 million content. You can have a generator. You can code yourself. You can add videos. FAQ. Social network, social login. So you want to have a social login here. You can have it. Log in with Google. You can log in with Facebook. Register. You can sell. This is selling play stalls for flea markets using WordPress as well. And there's a lot more you can do with WordPress. So if you join my course, it's just only going to be Goodman won, 90,000 Korean won, and you're going to get a domain name.com, a web hosting account, and I'm going to teach you how to build your website in 5 hours. If you don't get a website running by in 5 hours time, if it's not live on the internet, I'm going to refund your money. As simple as that. So any questions so far? If you have any questions, you can always ask me or you can always email me, and I'm here to support you guys to build your website in a foreign language or even in English or even in Korean, for you to promote your content or your business overseas, or even to help you to be an aspiring website designer, which you can help other companies or charge other companies a fee or a service fee for you to build their websites by you, basically. So these are a few options for you. It can be a side income for you guys to be a freelancer, website designer, create content on your website, and you can basically charge people, other companies, for your service, essentially. So thank you for all you guys for listening in today. If you have any questions, you can always email me again, and you have my email. Okay, I haven't given you guys my email address. Now my email address is this is my email address. Okay, and you can just right. That's my email address. If you need more questions, you need more clarification, let me know. I like to help. I like to teach people. I like to help people to advance themselves and improve themselves in their website development skills, or even in business, online business. So go ahead and text me anytime, email me anytime. All right. So thank you so much for your time for today. And go ahead and try to sign up for my course. I will teach you as much as I can. All right. So until then, have a good night and take care. Bye bye.
Recording stopped.